Hey everyone. So, you know that amazing feeling of having your own home? It's awesome. But there's also that little knot of anxiety, right? The one that pops up when you think about unexpected costs. Well, that's what we're going to tackle today. We're going to break down the true cost of owning a home so you can really focus on the joy, not the financial stress.
All right, let's just get right to it with the big question, the one every single home buyer asks themselves. When you picture that dream home, what do you really think it's going to cost you, month after month? Here's the thing, that monthly mortgage payment, it's just the starting line. I mean, it's the number everyone fixates on, but honestly, it doesn't even come close to telling the whole story.
You know, the best way to think about this is like an iceberg. Seriously, that mortgage payment you're so focused on, that's just the tip. It's what everyone sees sticking out of the water. But the real danger, the real weight, well, that's all hidden from view.
So, what exactly is lurking beneath the surface? Well, for starters, you've got property taxes, and these can change depending on where you live and what your home's worth. Then there's homeowners insurance. You absolutely can't skip this, it protects your biggest asset. And then all the other stuff. We're talking routine maintenance, utilities like heat and water, and all that seasonal upkeep. These little things can add up to some seriously big costs if you're not ready for them. All right, let's go a little deeper. We're going to take a closer look at these variable costs because honestly, this is where so many new homeowners get completely sideswiped.
You know, even the costs that seem fixed, like your taxes and insurance, they can change. Property taxes, for example, can be wildly different from one town to the next, and they almost always go up over time. It's a moving target, and you absolutely have to build that into your budget. Utilities are another huge variable. Think about it. An older, drafty house might have heating bills that are double, maybe even triple what you'd pay in a modern, super efficient home. This is where doing a little homework beforehand can save you a ton of money and a whole lot of stress down the road. And then you have all the practical, hands-on stuff. These aren't exactly emergencies, but they are essential. You know, things like getting the furnace tuned up every year, cleaning out the gutters, dealing with snow removal, and keeping the yard from turning into a jungle. All of it costs money, and you need a budget to keep your home running smoothly.
Okay, so we've laid out all these hidden costs, and you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot. But why does actually putting it all down in a budget matter so much? Well, it all comes down to the power of having a plan. This quote right here really nails it. This isn't just about crunching numbers. When you actually plan for the full picture, what you're really doing is buying yourself peace of mind. You get to avoid that last-minute scramble at the end of the month, and you feel like you're in the driver's seat of your finances. And here's the bottom line. Your home is a huge financial commitment for sure, but it's also where you live your life. A good budget makes sure it's a foundation that supports you instead of a heavy weight that's constantly straining you. Let me tell you a quick story about this. It's a real-world example from a home buyer in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and it just perfectly shows why this planning is so important. So this person, they loved their new home. But then the first winter hit, and they got a nasty shock. They felt totally blindsided by how incredibly high the utility bills were. It's such a common story, and it's so stressful. But here's the cool part. Instead of panicking, they just took a breath and made a plan. It was just 3 simple steps. First, they reworked their budget to build in a little buffer for utilities. Second, they did some easy DIY fixes to seal up a few drafty spots. And third, they just got smarter about their thermostat schedule. That's it. And the result? It was huge. I mean, after just a couple of months, everything felt manageable again. Their home stopped being a source of anxiety and went right back to being a place of comfort. That right there, that's the power of being proactive. So you're probably wondering, how can I do that? How can you create a budget that actually works for you? Let's walk through a super simple 4-step blueprint to get you started. Okay, step 1. Start with the easy one, your mortgage payment. That's principal and interest. Step 2, add in your fixed costs, property taxes and insurance. Step 3, do your best to estimate those variable costs, like utilities. And finally, and this is maybe the most important step of all, build a maintenance fund. A great rule of thumb is to set aside about 1 to 3% of your home's value every single year for repairs and general upkeep. And hey, listen to me on this one. Your budget does not have to be perfect on day one. You don't need a crystal ball to predict every single cost to the penny. The most important thing is just being consistent. That habit of planning and saving, that's the real magic. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, right? When you take the time to understand the full cost of ownership and you plan for it, you're protecting your investment, you're protecting your peace of mind, and you're protecting your ability to just enjoy your home without any of those nasty surprises.
So, I'm gonna leave you with this one final thought. Forget about the big, overwhelming long-term plan for just a second. What is one small, simple step you can take this week to start getting your budget ready for the true, complete cost of owning your home?